Hey guys, welcome to part 4 of my Pokemon Crystal Legacy Hard Mode Nuzlocke Challenge. Let's begin. So after defeating Whitney, I go to the flower shop to get the squirt bottle so I can encounter the Sudowoodo. So I go to, this is route 45 or 46, but anyway, this is a legit encounter. I encounter a Snubbull, which is cool. I used Gramble once in an old Crystal version, but this was like years ago. So I'm excited to have a shot to use it again. And I made the mistake of calling him Mastark, which if you remember last episode I named a Sleeping Spearow. I do catch this later on, and I changed the nickname. After catching Snubbull, I then go and talk to the younger sister of the flower shop owner, and then I encounter the Sudowoodo. So I cannot catch the Sudowoodo. I already got my encounter on this route early because you can choose to get. There's the grass patch next to Violet City, and that's part of this route. So I caught Growlithe here already. So right here, I'm just going to have to knock out the Sudowoodo. I'm not counting static encounters as separate encounters. After taking care of Sudowoodo, I decide to backtrack to the national park and get my encounter there, and I get a Psyduck. After catching him, I decide to name him User, which represents any profile I've seen that has followed me that has user and then several numbers after it. On the route above Sudowoodo, I believe this is route 37 or 47. I'll type a correction on the screen. I get my next encounter, and it's a Stantler. After tossing a few Pokeballs, I finally catch him, and I decide to call him Eric Confirmed because, Eric as a Noctowl is dead, so now he is reincarnated as a Stantler. So hopefully I don't screw this up with you this time, buddy. Okay, so one last encounter before I fight my rival. I made it to Ecruteak City and I go into the Burn Tower and I encounter Slugma, which has been added into this. Fun fact, Misdreavus is also in this area too, which I think is perfect. I catch him with no problem. Also, they reduce the level that this Pokemon evolves, like Spinarak, and so Slugma evolves into Magcargo at level 27 in this game, which I think works to the fact on how early you get it in this ROM hack. And I nickname him Gary. That's not a follower. I'm at this point recording. I ran out of followers to use as nicknames, so I'm using just nicknames I think of. Okay, so now we meet with Adam, and this is rival fight number 3. Definitely a lot tougher this time around. He has some Pokemon that his Zubat has evolved into Golbat, which Golbat and Crobat are annoying in this game. But he leads with Larvitar, and Gasms takes him out with a Mega Drain with no problem, and then he brings out the annoying Golbat. Right here, I go into Youtooz to take care of him. He does have the Confuse Ray and whatnot, but I believe I put a Bitter Berry on it. If not, I definitely should have. The one cool thing you're going to see that the AI do here in just a minute is you see, Rock Throw unfortunately misses, but he withdraws. So right here, it hard switch into Weepinbell, which I just go into DH, and DH takes care of it with no problem whatsoever. So right here, I opt to switch into Lawn Gnome, who unfortunately gets confused. This is why I don't like Golbats. But I decide to stay in and roll the dice, and I don't get punished. So I was able to go quick attack in and get the knockout. And so then his last Pokemon is Quilava. I go into a Bexel, and it takes a few turns because Quilava knows Dig, but I was able to punish with a Magnitude, and we get the knockout. So very solid rival fight, really showing how much stronger he's starting to get. And you're going to see there's going to be some interesting things that are going to happen in future fights. After the fight, I fall down to the lower levels of the Burnt Tower, and I encounter the 3 legendary dogs, Raikou, Entei, and Suicune. After our encounter, I run into Ucine, who simps over Suicune for a little bit, and then I go and start level grinding and finishing some other side quests in Ecruteak City. So the level cap is level 25 for Morty, and I decided to go ahead and take care of the other side quests, like the Kimono Girls, which I take care of them with relative ease. Abexel takes care of Jolteon Flareon. DH takes care of the Umbreon, and I know Gasms takes care of Vaporeon, so really no issues all around. And I get Surf, which is going to be a useful traversing TM and just a great powerhouse TM altogether for my water types. While fighting some of Morty's gym trainers, Youtooz evolves into Graveler, which is pretty awesome. Also, all the trait evolution Pokemon in this game either evolve with their respective items, or with Graveler into Golem, he evolves at level 38. So, looking forward to having a Golem pretty soon. To finish up my level grinding, I do decide to go ahead and get my encounter on Route 38, and it's going to be a Tauros. I catch him with very little issue, and I name him Red Bull. Alright, so now it's time for badge number 4 against Morty. So right here he leads with Haunter, and I go with Quit W my Growlithe. Basically, I'm just going to go ahead and attack with Bites. And fortunately, Haunter goes for Curse, so I'm able to basically get a one-shot. Now, his next Pokemon is a Stantler, which I think is a perfect addition to his team. I go and switch into Fade, and I evade the Hypnosis. Next turn, the Stantler goes for a Leer, and I go for a Karate Chop. Now, right here, I should have swapped, because Stantler goes for a Swift, and a crit would have killed me. But, fortunately, I don't get punished, and another Karate Chop gets the knockout. Next, he brings out his other new addition to the team, which I don't know why it wasn't part of his original Ghost team, is Misdreavus. And right here, I go back into Growlithe to get a few bites in. But a Shadow Ball does a lot of damage, and I don't want to go into Lawn Gnome yet, because Lawn Gnome is my answer for Gengar. So right here, I go into DH, who actually takes a Shadow Ball pretty well. He can live a crit, I believe. Actually, no. I go for a Leech Life in hopes of regaining enough. But if he goes for another Shadow Ball, I would have died. So, a little sloppy on here, but, it's fine. So, with the Misdreavus just going for a Side Wave, I decided to go for Twin Needle here. I think at this point I was thinking if DH ends up dying, it's not a major loss. It was just kind of one of those things where I didn't want to risk any Pokemon that I really needed for future gym challenges. Fortunately, the Misdreavus is just using moves like Perish Song and Psywave, and yeah, I was able to get a few more Twin Needles in and get the knockout. This leads to Morty bringing out his last Pokemon, Gengar, and basically this is just a win here because I'm going to switch into Lawn Gnome, who I actually pre-poisoned before the fight. With Lawn Gnome Poison, Gengar cannot put it to sleep with Hypnosis, and that means Gengar can't hit it with Dream Eater, and his other attacking move is Shadow Ball, which Lawn Gnome is immune to. So basically, it is just getting a few pursuits in while all it can do is just stare at me menacingly with Mean Look, and we get our badge. So yeah, I was really prepared in the beginning. In the end, it was the middle with the Stantler and the Misdreavus I needed to play a little bit more carefully around. But, a win is a win, so I hope people enjoyed this, and look forward to episode 5.